Welcome, low ego action heroes. I'm Debbie Levitt from Delta CX. We're a full service CX and UX consultancy and agency. We do projects, consulting, and training. Check us out at deltacx.com and customercentricity.com. And welcome to episode 187. It's been a packed week of shows every day this week, and this is Karen's Great Portfolio, the story of someone who sent me their portfolio and I liked it, which is rare. If you've ever had a portfolio review done by me, you probably heard me say some negative things, some things where I was concerned, I was worried you're not ready, you might need to look more. And a lot of people say, well, what's a good portfolio look like? Now, Karen's portfolio isn't perfect. Nobody's is, even mine isn't. But I wanted to show this one because it's got an interesting story where I saw it and I said, gee, I really like the way this guy thinks. I think I'll want to work with him. And then the next thing you know, my company got a potential customer that really fit the portfolio story I saw in Karen's portfolio. And I hired him to do that project with us. And he was fantastic. And I would highly recommend him to anybody who is looking for someone right now. So before we dive in, we do want to, of course, thank everybody who is giving to the YouTube channel in small and large ways. Always appreciated, totally optional. Today you're keeping me in strawberries, so if I have any in my teeth, please let me know. But thanks to everybody who is giving. Before I start, Karen is not joining me on the show. He's very shy, but he wants me to read you a statement he just sent to me, which says, the story of a guy who started his journey with Delta CX and ended up working for them. It's like a dream come true because I never thought it would happen to me. I want to thank everyone who shares their knowledge and experience in this community. I really appreciate your efforts in educating and building an understanding of the UX field for people like me. I hope one day I can give back to the community and continue on the path you started. Thank you, Debbie. And I hope I pronounced this right. It's an Armenian word. John. Close? No? Terrible? Anyway, it seems to be some sort of expression of love and happiness from what I understand. I keep seeing it and I haven't totally gotten it down yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through Karen's portfolio as if I'm doing the type of portfolio review that I do for all of you for free. If you're saying, what? I get a free portfolio review? Yes. Everybody gets one free portfolio review. Go hit deltacx.com/links and you'll find the link to sign up for it. If you've had one already and it's your second, please do pick the paid version. Just respectful of my time, but everybody can get one free one. You get back a video sent to you privately. No, it doesn't get put on YouTube. You have to be ready for some tough love. I don't always have fantastic news for you, so just look out there. And of course, probably watch video 148 first before you send me your portfolio so that you can fix the key mistakes and issues I tend to see people make in portfolios. You might as well fix those. I didn't even say empathy. I've set up the voice recognition system to set off some new and old effects if I say certain words. I don't know why I thought I said empathy, but I do have it set up to automatically go without me setting it off. I hope you will enjoy that. There's a few other Easter eggs coming. All right, so let's flip over to my screen and do a portfolio review type of thing. And let's make this a little bit audience participation. If you have a comment or a question, I'll take those as I go. So put them right here in the live chat. You can certainly put it into LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch. So here's the chat room. Here's my giant screen. Here's the optional tip jar. I think it's deltacx.link/tip. And of course, my screen. And I've put Karen's portfolio in the description, so you can find it yourself. It's not a secret, but it's definitely not a short URL. Somebody get this guy a .com. Okay, so I'm so bad. I'm bad with American names, let alone not American names. So I think we would pronounce Karen Davtyan, but I'm really bad at this. To me, he's just Karen, because finally I stopped saying Karen because he would show up in the shows and I just saw Karen and figured it was an American woman. I was wrong, as you can see by the picture. Hey, Credence. I'm Karen, a UX designer and researcher based in Armenia. My goal is to help businesses innovate and succeed by bringing people, business, and technology together through human-centered design. Come work with me and see the results for yourself, which I did. Now, if you get a portfolio review from me, you know that the next thing that I say to you is, this is your promise to me. Whatever you put on your homepage of your portfolio is your promise to me. Not that you're based in Armenia, but that you want to see businesses innovate. Now again, you'll write something different for yourself, but whatever you put here is your promise to me. If your portfolio doesn't then show this, then I feel like you've broken a promise to me. I can't tell you how many people say, I'm going to innovate and I'm going to reinvent the world and I'm going to, I care about accessibility and I care about this. And then I go through their portfolio. They didn't innovate. They didn't make anything accessible. They clearly don't even understand color contrast. This is your promise to me. Don't break it. If you're over-promising, rewrite it. So Karen's got pretty much 2 portfolio projects here. This last one are little samples. And if you've gotten a portfolio review from me, you know I just review one project. I pretend I am a busy hiring manager and I've got 200 applications and I'm just going to look at your portfolio and see, do I want to interview this person or not? Remember, the portfolio is not getting you the job. The portfolio is getting you the interview. It's speed dating. It's, do I want to talk to this person or do I feel like they're not a match or they're not ready? So that's what I'm looking for. Now notice he's also got some tags here. He's using Notion, which I'm not familiar with, but I know many of you love it. Qualitative research, analyses, assumption testing, concept design. Okay, so that gives me a little warm up that I'm going to see kind of a larger arc of human-centered design, which is good because that's what he promised me. So let's keep our promises. Hello, Ana Lucia and Malika. Okay, so let's click in. Ana Lucia says, I'm excited. I've been structuring my portfolio and want to see how people are doing it. Okay. So let's see. Now remember, I'm not just looking at your work, I'm looking at your storytelling. How do you explain the project or the work or decisions or process or anything to me? So it's not just about, oh, I've got some good screenshots. At least for me, I'm looking at more than that. So about the project, I helped to pivot the product and find early customers. Great summary sentence. I have a good sense now that this is some sort of startup who's looking for early customers, but was not having a good time with product market fit, needed a pivot, and it sounds like he helped drive that, probably with his research. But again, I'm making some assumptions right now, and I might be wrong, but that's the vibe I get. We saw the tags. He's the researcher and the designer. His team was a CEO who was also a developer and a project manager. Okay, so again, tells me small startup team. Duration, 8 months. Now, of course, we don't always get 8 months to work on projects. So some people might say, oh, that's unrealistic. He took too long. Well, first of all, we don't know the story yet. He might have done multiple things for these people, or he might have done one thing very slowly. So we don't know yet, and I'm not going to make any assumptions. As for table of contents, I usually ignore that. I'm just going to scroll through until I see something that makes me not want to interview you or makes me sure I want to interview you if I were a hiring manager. So I don't need the table of contents, but you can see from the scroll bar, this is going to be a pretty long page. So I can understand him including that, even though it's not something I would necessarily use. So let's see how we get to know the story of this project. Now, I tend to skim things. I am not a full reader who reads every word unless it's one of my own books or PowerPoints. So I'm just going to kind of show you how I skim through things. Sorry, my internet looks like it's blipping a little bit. Can everybody see this graph on the left? I keep a graph, a running graph of my internet so I know when it's me. Looks like it's me. No, it looks pretty good. Okay. This is a story about an early stage startup, overcame adversity, pivoted again, find early adopters, do work. Project estimation platform, project managers, teams break down projects, estimate duration, share project timelines, bring AI into project management. Teams make more accurate estimates based on data from past projects. They had an MVP and a small user base. Really clear. We all got that. We didn't, sometimes people tell me the story and I go, wait a minute. What happened here? What are you talking about? I think that's a pretty clear introduction. I feel like we understand what this project was. So good. I start to feel trust for him. I say, this person seems like a good communicator. He was able to summarize that well. I got what the story is. Okay, understanding the product. When I joined the company, I started to learn about project management and its phases. Helps me understand what it means to estimate when it should be done, what techniques there are. Same time trying to learn about our users, understand structure of the product, several weeks, identify several issues regarding user flows and accessibility. So at first it sounds to me like he's just doing his own domain knowledge research, which is good. He didn't jump into something he was unfamiliar with and act like, I'm the coolest, I know exactly what to do. He took the time to make sure he understood the domain. I don't know if he selected his own materials or if the company suggested them, but he's also got an accordion here. And you know I recommend accordions to take kind of optional content and hide them when you have a hiring manager who likes to know more. So let's see what kinds of things he has there. He's got stakeholder interviews, structure of the product, findings and improvements. Okay, so it sounds to me like he did some stakeholder interviews. Let's see what we can learn about that. There was no documented user research in the company. I scheduled one-on-one stakeholder interviews to learn more about users' pain points, opportunities we were trying to address, competition, and constraints. And he's got a link to, I assume these are the questions he asked the stakeholders. So if I wanted to see, does he ask the stakeholders good or bad questions? It looks like I have access to this document. Now, again, if I'm a hiring manager, I usually don't click to outside documents or videos or prototypes. I'm just trying to quickly see, do I want to meet this person? Though I will say for my portfolio reviews, I usually go through the entire project you have, just in case, even if it's long, just in case you do have a hiring manager looking at more of it. Also, I've heard a few hiring managers like to start at the end and work their way up. The idea being, if they don't like how the story ended or they don't like the design you came up with, who cares how you got there? I don't feel that way. I feel like it's more important to get to know your process and your thinking, because who knows why the design ended up how it did. Maybe somebody told you to change your good ideas into bad ideas. So I'd rather get the story in order. So maybe we'll come back to that questionnaire. We have a small user base targeted for small software development companies, project managers, development team, and they've been acquiring users through AppSumo. Okay, I thought that was really interesting. Some of you know AppSumo. You can get very discounted subscriptions to things if you're an early adopter. Structure of the product. In order to understand structure of the product, I started by depicting the main user flows. So again, he's just taking the time to get baseline knowledge of something that already exists. I appreciated that. I don't think this is a waste of time. I think this is a great way to make sure that before you jump into what should we do here, you know what's already going on. So it looks like he's done some flow charts, he's made some hierarchies, or he's made some other notes. He's got a little whiteboarding stuff happening. And so I can get a good sense, even though I can't necessarily see these very clearly, they're probably, let's see, what happens if I click on that? Okay, so this is blown up more, but even on my large screen, I still can't read all the words, and that's okay, because this might be partially confidential, very confidential, so it might be blurry on purpose, but I can still tell from this that even if this isn't perfect, this is a pretty thorough person. And in fact, let's make this audience participation. What do y'all think so far? What's your impression of this person? Now, you can say negative things if you want. I'm sure you might have some good constructive feedback that can help him, but so far, I felt very positive about what I was seeing, and it seemed very thorough and well thought out. Ana Lucia says, I saw your episode about portfolios. It was interesting to see you don't expect every case study to have a happy ending. There are a lot of things that may happen. Yeah, I don't think I have a portfolio project or case study with a happy ending. So I don't expect yours to have a happy ending either. Findings and improvements. Okay, so he did his own assessment or heuristic evaluation, and he found critical accessibility issues, forms, font size, contrast, and a lot of inconsistency. An easy way to approach it would be to adopt an open source design system to quickly improve accessibility and ensure product consistency. That may or may not be the best thing for brand design, but he's right. That would solve those problems quickly and without the need for them to hire an artist necessarily. So I think that is a smart solution for a startup that wants to go fast and is probably not as concerned with branding and design because it is an early stage product. So he could have said, oh, I suggested they hire a UI design and do an entire brand and sure. You could. That's not wrong. But I appreciate that he was trying to suggest the things that probably matched where the company was, the amount of time they wanted to spend, and the money they wanted to spend, which were probably close to zero. So sure, just grab Bootstrap or something else. Make sure you've picked a framework with good accessibility and use that for now. Now, it won't solve everything, but it'll solve some things, and that's a good start. Okay, learnings. In the first phase of my work, I tried to improve the existing product, but I had the wrong approach. It's easy to jump into a trap and build the roadmap without user research. Okay, so while I don't always love self-reflection in portfolios, I could appreciate this. I appreciated that he's saying, hey, look, let's face it. I wanted to jump in and fix all the problems this person has, but that really wasn't the right way to go. And I didn't really have the right information. Since the product entered the market almost 1.5 years ago, no customers have paid for it or used it on an active basis. Okay, that's really weird. This is a startup selling AppSumo vouchers or whatever you want to call them, but really doesn't have many or any users? That now the story's getting weird, don't you think? Credence says, I really appreciate the way he provides optional in-depth reviews of the information while still providing strong summaries of what he did. Yes, it's the storytelling. So his process is really nice, but his storytelling and communication are really strong. And I think they give you a feeling, you say, wow, I feel like I know what it would be like to work with this guy. He'll be a clear communicator. He'll be detailed. He'll be thinking about things from different angles. He'll be mapping and drawing different things to think things out. Like, you know, that's kind of what I make up in my head about what I think this person would be like from looking at this. While product development was going well, the company had trouble attracting and retaining customers. This means we failed to either deliver or communicate the value of our product, or what we offer isn't what people want. Very possible. When the first version of the product was created, it contained several critical assumptions. Ooh, you know I'm happy to see this. I'm happy to see somebody stopping and saying, wait a minute, what are we guessing at? What are we assuming? What might we not really know? Estimation is a big problem for software development companies and they want a solution. Okay, we're assuming that this is a big problem where people want a solution. Prospects will switch from their current project management platform. That's right. What are they using now? If they're using Jira, it's nearly impossible to get a company to break a Jira contract. Users will import past projects into do work. Right, that is an assumption, because if this is AI or an algorithm that works off past projects, then yeah, you'd have to import old data into this system in a way that this system understands it. That is an assumption. Some people might and some people might not. We can train AI to suggest accurate estimations based on previous projects. Really excellent assumption. We're assuming that we can build the thing we think we can build. We might not be able to. We are not sure we can train AI or machine learning to do what our product claims it'll do. We can monetize our product with a SaaS model, providing a monthly subscription and a 14-day free trial. Yeah, excellent assumptions, really well collected and communicated. After a year and a half, we weren't able to validate none of these assumptions. That's it. Okay, these are all maybe not true, partially not true, wholly not true. So we decided to go and understand the roots of the problem we were trying to solve, and we started with desirability. Does anybody want this? If it's undesirable, it doesn't matter if we can build or monetize it. I researched existing customers. I really like this thinking. He's really thinking about, sure, we could have gone and researched, can we build the AI that does the thing? But he's realizing there's a bigger blocker here. Even if these other things happen, we're still blocked by people going, yeah, I don't need this, or I don't want this, or I can't shut off Jira for this. So I really like the way he thought that out. Hi, Angie. Yes, that's right. Angie knows Karen from our book club. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so he says he's going to research existing customers. Let's see how he does it. The problem. Oh, Ana Lucia, only a 14-day trial for project management software. That would have to be really small and quick to, yes, I agree with Ana Lucia. That does sound like a very short trial. But again, it's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is, does anybody need this? Does anybody want this? Then we can worry about what does it cost? How long is the trial? Like that is on the end of the list if you ask me. Customers discovered our solution through AppSumo or searching Google. A few who found it on AppSumo signed up for it or purchased it. Some began using it for their projects, but the majority of those who found it via Google did not sign up. Research objectives. What prevented people from signing up through Google searches? Why do AppSumo customers buy the product? Why did a small number of AppSumo users begin using the product? Now, notice the objectives and the goals here. I really liked this because he didn't jump into, do you want this idea we have? That's a really common mistake. Hi, Aitan. We're looking at Karen's portfolio today. It is not critical thinking. I hope you don't mind. Though it is critical thinking, but we're going through Karen's portfolio in slow motion because this is one of the few portfolios I've seen that I really, really loved, and loved so much that I hired him. Though our project's over, that means you get to steal him away from me, but then give him back later. I want to work with him again. So again, it's really easy to get caught up here in the wrong research objectives, but I really like the way that he goes for those bottom baseline startup assumptions. Why did people buy this? And then why are they not using it? My portfolio hasn't been updated since I got hired. Okay, so your portfolio, I would take a look at Ralica's portfolio. I might want to do a show about that. You can catch the spelling of her name on Slack, Ralica Parusheva. I don't know where you dropped the accent there. She's got a super researcher portfolio. This is a little bit different. So yes, but hopefully you're enjoying your job. Okay, so execution. Let's see how he did it. What prevented people from signing up through Google searches? Ooh, I wonder. I don't know. Okay, almost all of our traffic comes from blog posts. So I created a subscription form right in the article. Interesting. I made a pop-up. When people pass the form, the pop-up will ask you, what's preventing you from registering now with job title and company type? I also think that's interesting. I don't love pop-ups, but I think that especially for a startup trying to gain more information, some of these intercepts can be interesting. And I appreciate that he's asking minimal information. He didn't make a 20-question survey. He made it really short. What's preventing you from registering? And then he's wondering who this person is in the scheme of their company and what type of company it is. I like it. Oh, Ana Lucia says she's been looking at Ralica's portfolio. Yes, it's quite good. I brought this idea to the team. We agreed putting a subscription form in the article might lead to registrations. They fill out the form. We'll have a better understanding of why they don't register. We monitored this for 2 weeks to see if it resulted in new registrations. We thought 5% would become new users. Now remember, I'm in accordion land, which is also nice because he makes that very clear. Because it has this kind of grayish off-white background. I can see I'm still in accordion land. I'm in a little side world here. After 2 weeks, we received 17 responses out of over 650 visitors. So that's not too bad. That's I don't know, about 3% just-ish. We understand the sample is small, but we moved forward with the data. 90% of respondents said they're not looking for an estimation tool, but they were interested in the blog post. Company type: marketing agencies, software development freelancers. Job title: project manager, marketing manager, CEO. Subscription form didn't impact registrations at all. Whoa! So they thought they would get 5% new users, and they didn't. We stopped the experiment. We didn't change the design of the banner, but we left the survey open to collect more data. We decided to create blog posts about marketing, software firms, freelancing, and how project estimating fits into different industries. We saw an opportunity in the new marketing agency segment and created a separate landing page to target them. Outcome: we later noticed the whole experiment had failed. This indicates that our product is not appealing to these segments. They're looking for general information and evaluation methods about project estimation. We didn't get new registrations. I appreciated his honesty. You can't help but love the honesty here. He didn't try to put some lipstick on this and say, even though it failed, I did a great job with the thing. Look, he did a great job. He doesn't have to tell me that. I appreciate his straightforward description of this whole thing failed. All the things we tried didn't get us more registrations at all. There you go. Let's see the other accordion bit. Debbie, do researchers have a decision-making part in their portfolio? What do you think? I love to see decision-making. It could even go in these accordions because, again, maybe the HR person who wants to see pretty pictures doesn't care. But as a hiring manager, I love that stuff because I really like to see people's thinking and process. So why do AppSumo customers buy the product? Why did a small number of AppSumo users begin using the product? With the customer support team, I reached out to customers to schedule one-on-one interviews. This method helped me understand the essence of the purchase. I conducted 8 interviews. It's almost all of our users that buy our product, and a few started to use it in the last 60 days. Discussion guide, note-taking, analyses, and so again, we could take a look at his questions and see how we feel about how he does creating questions. So I'm just going to skip past some of this. I can tell that he looks like he's using my template. So it looks like he's learned this from me. So that's kind of funny. This looks familiar. But again, you don't have to have used my template. I'll welcome any good research plan. And just because you use my template doesn't mean you made a good research plan. So let's see what kinds of questions he wanted to ask. How long have you been with your organization? Role and background. Okay, little ice-breaking, little baseline information. How did you find our product? What were you looking for? Walk us through your current work processes. What are the challenges you're facing as a role? How are you handling those? When did you first realize you needed something to solve your problem? Tell me what you were considering or evaluating when you decided to buy our product. I think these are pretty decent questions if you're not going, especially if you're not going to be watching a task, but I think these are good questions because they speak to his goals. They answer questions that will help the company figure out what's going on here because now they're pretty confused. Their experiments are failing. They're not getting new users. Even people buying AppSumo aren't using it. We need to learn more about this. So I didn't love all the questions here, but I thought in general there were a lot of good questions here. Though, again, always better to watch things where we can and do observations. But here, an interview style is perfectly good because we're trying to figure out trigger, orbit, ecosystem, and then why the ecosystem is falling apart. So, yeah, sometimes I look at people's questions and I go, oh, yikes. Yeah, sorry, these aren't the right questions to ask. And so I don't expect everybody to be perfect. You could look at my research plan and find some question mistakes I've made. But I really did think these were good questions that were going to get the answers he needed. Okay, what's the outcome? Okay, so of course, I can't really read this, and that may be okay. It may be confidential. But I can tell that whatever this guy's doing, it's pretty organized. He's got a grid, he's got some colors, he's got some different things grouped together, he's got things pointing at things, and sure, maybe this all sucks. But my general impression is this looks pretty organized. Karen says, it is yours. I learned almost everything from this channel. Oh, God, now I'm almost embarrassed. You're cutting onions. We concluded from reviewing interviews that customers purchase our product because they think it is a good lifetime deal and intend to resell it in the future. Did I yell out loud at this point? I don't remember how I reacted to this when I first saw it, but I remember being like, what? All these people are buying this AppSumo deal and signing up for it, but then they don't even mean to use the product. They're hoping the product will get popular or bigger and they'll resell the AppSumo coupon. Whoa, I buy things on AppSumo and I never even dreamed that there is some sort of secondary market of AppSumo coupons. I mean, wow. So I think that's really great because you could have accidentally done the research that said, oh, yeah, people really love our product and they really love our idea and they bought the AppSumo coupon and they just didn't get around to trying it yet. No, we seem to have found the real problem here. Shweta says, is he an experienced researcher? I'm late to the show. This is really thorough. I know this is a show about how impressed I was with Karen's portfolio. And I think Karen has a couple of years of experience. But it looks like he's got a lot, right? Just because his thinking is so good. And that's why sometimes I feel like some people might advance faster. Some people might go from junior to mid-level or mid-level to senior if they're really doing really high quality work and are ready to be that next level. And some people take longer, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's normal. So so check out what else they learned. Few of them use the product because they just purchased it, and it's an example of choice supportive bias or post-purchase justification. So we defend our decisions because we made them. People use the product to create projects and share them with clients. Due to a lack of trust, they didn't upload past projects. They didn't see the point in using AI because it didn't work right. What I love about this is that I feel like Karen found depth. I see a lot of portfolio projects, and not all of them, but many of them are like, I spoke to some users and they really like cupcakes. Like there's something very surface level about them. And sure, sometimes they're sample or practice projects, and it can be hard to have the right depth on them, but nothing's stopping you from having great depth even on a sample project. In fact, you would think a sample project you could have more depth because you've got time. Maybe you're not working, or maybe you're just trying to do this on the side. So, wow. So I felt like, wow, he really uncovered things that sound like the root cause and don't sound like some outside layer that was going to fool us. So, yeah. So again, even if I didn't open this accordion, he still gives me the key part of the story. The main reason why people buy our product was that they expect to sell their AppSumo coupons in the future. Mind blown. Those who signed up from AppSumo didn't use the product regularly, just played and quit. We had traffic from Google. They wanted to learn about estimation. We became aware no one requires our product because it doesn't offer a significant solution to a product. Boom. Where's all my effects? Boom. So good. I just love this. I mean, to me, it's just so much good thinking and process and depth. This is why I was so excited about this portfolio. I know we've got like over 20 people joining us live. What do you think? What do you think about this portfolio? Do you see what I see? Do you see something different? After this research, 4 main points come to light. We failed to earn trust. We were unable to deliver our own value proposition. Oh my God, doesn't that hurt? Ow. Ow! We didn't deliver our own promise. There's no need for an estimation platform, or it's not critical or urgent. Our current acquisition channel was not working. Yeah. Oh, Malika says, I love the plot twist. So did I. I was like, they do what? Like, do you know that? I did. Karen, I don't remember. Did I turn to my husband and ask, like, do you know that people do this? I have the memory of doing that, but this was like December, maybe when I reviewed Karen's portfolio, maybe even November. And I just remember super, at least in my mind, freaking out about people reselling AppSumo coupons, but I honestly don't remember what I said or didn't say, and I didn't watch the video back. Ana Lucia says, indeed, that plot twist is mind-blowing. It really shows the lack of previous research before Karen came in. Yeah, and about how much they relied on their assumptions and just assumed their assumptions were true and that would carry this startup through fame and fortune. We have enough evidence to stop development and start thinking about pivoting. That's another smart strategic decision. Again, I love that he's being strategic. He's not just being tactical. He's saying, hey, sure, you can keep building, but you know what? You should probably stop. Stop development. Think about pivoting. You're never going to get there. I explained to the team about commitment bias, told them we're processing in that direction. We must decide, pivot, or persevere. Yes, so now he's telling his own team, I bet, because I know Karen has a degree in economics, about sunk cost fallacy. That's my guess. The story doesn't tell me that. Now that I know Karen, I would think that. But I bet he would say, hey, we can't continue in this direction just because we've been going in this direction. It's the wrong direction. It was a hard decision. We chose to wait and start another round of research. Ooh, plot twist. Now, again, at this point, I think that if I had some sort of job for a UX strategist, maybe a researcher, I'd want to interview him. This is more than enough. Yes, I've been talking for a half hour, but this is more than enough for me to want to interview this person. But let's keep going a little bit more, since we are talking about portfolio reviews and the things that I look for. And again, what am I looking for here? Process, thinking, decisions, storytelling. How are you telling me the story of what happened? Is the story clear? Very often, and many of you who got a portfolio review from me have heard me say, I can't tell what's going on here. I'm not sure what happened here. Did this happen in the order you're telling it to me? Because this doesn't seem like the right order. There's lots of storytelling easy mistakes. Ana Lucia says, by the way, you have the value-led graphic popping up every once in a while. Is that on purpose? Is your software going cuckoo bananas? Yes, both. It should only be popping up when I say value-led. I don't know what I'm saying that's making it pop up. So if you have a clue, let me know. But I'm testing out the software's voice trigger function. It was kind of a joke Udipta and I had. He wanted it to set off the dreamy stars every time I say empathy. Did it work? I'm not looking. And I went a little wild and I added a bunch of other ones. So I can turn off the value-led one if it's going to pop up again now that I said that. But if you can tell what I'm saying, I'll try to, I can't fine tune it. That's the weird part, but I can turn it off. Sorry if that's distracting. Credence says, I love that he was able to reveal that the product wasn't useful and even convince the team to consider pivoting. Really good point. So many of us who want to be change agents can struggle with convincing a company to change, especially something they are clinging to and when they're in love with their own idea. So the idea that he was able to create that change just tells me, smart guy, strong personality, and which is funny because he always tells me how shy he is. But I guess you can be shy and have that strength. You can be introverted and have that strength. So, don't let any labels you've put on yourself or other people put on you keep you from being strong. You can be strong and everything else. Let's see what he did next. Close registration, redesign the landing page based on users' needs captured in the interviews. If someone wants to register, they must book a demo. This will help us connect with newcomers and understand why they come. Now, again, we know that people don't love to sign up for demos. They often feel like they're going to get a salesperson person who's going to pitch them and all that stuff. So, this wouldn't necessarily have been my first choice, but again, if it's good process and it works, that's cool. Demo was delegated to our account manager. I helped her create a presentation and prepare a script. So it sounds like he co-worked on a pitch deck and more landing page insights and redesign. So we can take a look at a little bit of design work. Here's a Figma file. Oh, every time I scroll with my trackpad in Figma, the screen goes blank. Did they ever fix that? Let's see. Okay, I'm going to scroll on my trackpad. Oh, it scrolls. They fixed it. The screen used to go blank. Okay, can I zoom in on this? Yes. Okay. So it looks like this might be a before and after. So here's the before, and here is maybe the after. I mean, they both look like okay designs, so I'm not going to linger on it too long. I want to hear more of the story. Does anybody have any questions while we're going through this? Either questions for Karan, because he's here in the chat, or questions for me as someone reviewing portfolios. Demo sessions were very effective. We learned a lot about newcomers, industry expectations, why. Users came and booked demos to evaluate solutions. We onboard them and show how the product worked. They expect to find Magic AI providing accurate estimations. We had 18 demos over 30 days, all from AppSumo, but all churned. So, not great news. It sounds like that value prop still isn't there if people didn't sign up. A little light bulb here. Did anybody notice the nice use of icons? The icons are telling part of the story, and it's subtle, and I like that. We realized during these months that our product was not desirable, and our current state makes training AI impossible due to the lack of a data set. We stopped development. We pivoted and tried to evaluate if estimation is a problem for product companies and what other problems we might solve in the market. So, okay, we tried something else, and that didn't work either. That's it. This thing really doesn't have legs, as we say. The cat had a question. What was the cat's question? Pivot. Until now, our product was focused on small software development companies. For a year and a half, we couldn't attract users. Now we want to focus on companies that raised at least a Series A. Okay, so we've decided we don't want companies that are that small. We want to go one step bigger. Okay, I'm not too sure why. I'd love to know why. I don't think we know why. Generative research, understanding what problem might we solve. We decide to keep the research broad and evaluate to see if there's an estimation component in the problem space. If not, what other problems companies have according to project management. Okay, so obviously I can't read all of this, and that's probably on purpose, but again, looks very organized. Looks like there's a lot of notes here. So I can't tell if this is quality. I don't know if anything here is good, but it definitely looks organized, so it gives me a good feeling. And there's a lot of notes here. I can't tell you how many affinity boards I see that have like 12 sticky notes. And I'm like, that's it? Analyses. So I'm going to jump past some other things. Let's see. We began by creating an experience map based on what we currently know about target users, depicting this map individually to avoid group thinking so each member could bring diverse knowledge. So it sounds like each person on the team built their own map based on what their understanding was, and then they kind of compared notes. That can sound a little bit weird, but I've seen some service design people do that. Sometimes they have people build it and they bring it together, or they do a workshop where people build it together. For service blueprints. So I don't think that's too weird, even though at first it sounds a little weird. Then we co-create a shared experience map, and here it is. So what's the job to be done for a Scrum Master? And again, there's obviously some misspellings here or some incorrect grammar, but certainly for someone who isn't fluent in English, I just remind them, good to read this out loud. good to catch any spelling mistakes you can, but I wouldn't not interview anybody because they didn't have perfect English. Even people who grow up speaking English don't have perfect English. So, quick note for all of you for whom English is not your first language and you're doing portfolios in English, you're applying in English. First of all, I don't like to correct people's English unless they've asked me to. Like, hey, I'm trying to learn. Help me learn. Tell me when I make a mistake. Sometimes when I look at a portfolio, I will mention some spelling. Hey, this says Job. You probably meant jobs. This says muster. You probably meant master. And I'll just remind people, don't forget to read your own portfolio out loud because you'll catch most of these mistakes when you try to read this out loud and it says Job to be done for Scrum muster. So again, just a reminder to do that. Karen says, oh, so sad. I'm working on it. No, it's fine. You've already been hired and you did a great job. Ana Lucia says, great to know. Yeah, to me, if anybody holds English against you, they suck. Unless for some reason this is some sort of job that really requires high-level academic English. But I think as long as, I mean, look how well Karen communicates and tells a story. I'm not going to get caught up on some spelling and grammar. I mean, to me, this is so unique. His talents and skills are so unique that if I get caught up on typos or spelling or grammar, I suck. You know, that is missing out on an amazing person for a bad reason. Oh, is anybody else's spring allergies kicking in? Oh, I'm going to have to say the show is sponsored by Spring Allergy Medicine, though it's definitely not. I would say I paid for it, but I got it for free because it's a prescription. So yeah, this show is not sponsored by Xyzal. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know. How do you pronounce XYZAL? But you know what? It works. I tried something else here and I ended up in the hospital. Not fun. Okay. And obviously, Karen has a lot of story to tell here. Look, we're not even halfway down the page. There is so much going on here. If we want to know Karen's story, we're going to get that story. We could definitely be here for a very long time. And I think that's okay. I would not tell him to make this shorter. I think he's done a really good job of combining key points, nice screenshots, accordions to help keep this shorter and provide information only for people who want more information. Excuse me, but even when we go through, even when we scroll through, we can say, wow, this just seems very organized. I get the impression if I work with this person, they seem like a good thinker and organized person. Zenzele says, Mother Nature's not holding back this year. Yes. Ana Lucia says, by the way, what would you think if the case study had the deliverables in another language? Karen has that. Karen, is it this one or is it the other one? It might be Karen's other one. I think Karen's other one has all screenshots in Armenian, which is a lovely looking script. That was a great pronunciation. Thank you. I need help. So yeah, let's look at that for a second. Okay, so take a look at this. No, that's English. I know I saw was it on this one? Karen, I hope you didn't take it down. Did you redo it in English, Karen? I'm having a weird feeling here. I am presenting research results to the stakeholders. There you go. I am a person. Hope he was that organized at home too. Oh no, it's Karen's brother. Karen's brother, I need to tell you, ever since you left, I don't know what he's eating. I'm worried about him. Task analysis. Oh, the task analysis is in Armenian? This? No, that looks like English. Oh, task analysis, task analysis. Where did it go? Figma? Anyway, Ana Lucia, yes. Karen, I definitely saw something in Karen's portfolio that was in Armenian, and so I couldn't make any sense of it at all. But even when you can't read these things, you can still get a sense of, I think this guy is organized. I think I'm assuming that he has some good, clear thinking. I missed task analysis. Task analyses. Oh, is it hiding under this accordion? No. I don't know. But anyway, somewhere in here, Ana Lucia, I did see non-English, and I'm okay with that because I'm still looking at the rest of the story. Even if the deliverables aren't in English, whatever they're in, I could still tell from the rest of the story what Karen did because he's going to tell me. He's going to tell me in great detail. I'm going to know. There's no questions here. It was one of the rare portfolios that I looked at where I said, wow, I'm not sure I have that many questions. I think I know exactly what happened here and every step you took and how this went. So yes, this is very long. We'd probably need another hour to walk through this in the slow motion that I'm doing. And remember, your average hiring manager is looking at something for 90 seconds. So you do want to make sure that if people are scrolling through your portfolio and maybe scrolling a little bit fast, that you have some good screens where people can stop and see some screens and say, okay, sure, here's some interview affinity diagramming, and okay, here's some sort of customer experience map. And so even if someone is doing that type of thing, which is very often your HR people, your recruiters, people who don't totally understand UX but are looking for the stereotypical portfolio, it still kind of checks that box. But then obviously for the level of detail I would want to see, it super wins. Shweta says, hey Karen, can you share the portfolio link here for the rest of us? Hey Shweta, you're on YouTube, so just click the YouTube description, expand. The YouTube's description is now an accordion with no affordance. So just open up the description and you should see the link there. Yeah, it's in the LinkedIn, it's in the YouTube, so everybody should be able to check this out for themselves. Oh, so I guess I'll stop here because we only have a few more minutes for the show. So let's switch back to Giant Me. Hello. So the story was I saw this and I thought it was quite good. Oh, what did I say? The story was I saw this. That doesn't make sense. Okay, let's fix that while I'm talking, since you won't see it. We'll turn off the voice activation for that one since it's seems to have gone a little wild. Thank you to Ana Lucia for pointing it out. Shweta says, if there's time in the show, it'd be cool to hear the interpersonal dynamics during the project as well. I didn't say empathy. I don't know. I didn't say design thinking. All right, I'm going to have to turn off all of these voice activations. I tried, everybody. I tried to make the show a little more hands-free, and it's gone wacky. Sure, Shweta, I'll talk about that, even if it makes the show run a little late. I hope people don't mind staying late. Hold on, I'm trying to turn off all of the voice activations so we don't have more wacky stuff coming up. The red flag seems to be triggered by something. Oh, I said red flag. That's what it is. Yes, if only I had a clearer voice, right? Okay, let's turn off a few of these and see how we do. Okay, so so I ended up with a potential client who was a startup that came to us and said, we're not sure what problem damn it. We're not sure what problem we're solving. I'm going to turn off all the voice activated ones. They have truly gone mad. Okay, I'm on it. Yeah. All right, we tried. We had fun. Fun is over. Okay, so what's it like to work with Karan? Really super. He's definitely everything you would think he would be, but even more. Because he was also funny and warm and all the things you would think he is: smart and organized and passionate and creative and really thinking about problems and solutions. We obviously worked remotely, which I'm a big fan of. And let me see. Oh, I still have a few more auto-generated voice things here. That's why bots won't replace humans. Yeah, I can't even get this thing to go off at the right word. Okay, I think I've taken them all off. So thanks, everybody. Sorry for the distraction. Karan is the star of the show. Yeah, I don't know if Karan wants to say anything about what it was like to work on our project. The project is confidential, but we put up a case study about it on customercentricity.com, but of course we can't tell you too many details. But yeah, working with him was great. It was fun and funny and warm and really good. The project, I think, went really well. I think it was one of the best projects my company's ever done because of the high quality of what we did. If you're looking at our case studies, this is the FinTech Startup case study on customercentricity.com. I would absolutely want to work with Karan again. I just happen to not have a project for him right now, but the moment I do, I will be checking if he's available. He's absolutely someone I would work with again, as is Ralitsa, as is Kayleen, though I am working with Kayleen right now, and certainly Larry. Yeah. What was the question again? Interpersonal dynamics, if there was pushback and how he convinced them. Yeah. Oh, you mean in his story? Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if I thought you meant interpersonal dynamics for us working together. Yeah, I don't remember if that ended up in his portfolio project. You can check on that, but it just seemed like I think another thing that occurs to me is it seems like he really won the trust of the company, that the company maybe wasn't totally thrilled, but eventually did or wanted to do what he was recommending. He was convincing. And now that I know him, it's like, wow, he must have really had amazing data, because he can be a little on the shy side. He can be a little bit more on the quiet side. He's not like a big in-your-face person like I am. And so he must have really had some good ideas and arguments and data to be able to convince people, because it's not just going to be personality alone. So yeah, I don't know much about the interpersonals on that. I can tell you about our interpersonal working relationship. And oh, and Karan, you have to send me your hoodie size if you haven't already. So I want to thank Karan and Kayleen for their great work on that project, and I'm going to have the company make them these embroidered hoodies. They're too expensive, but they deserve them. If you would like Delta CX merch, you can get it at deltacx.shop. We do not have embroidered hoodies, but we do have stuff with logos on it, and some of the fun stuff you've seen coming up on the screen today, which are some of the new things that I've created. Where did they go? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Like this one for Kayleen. Design thinking sucks. And be value-led. So, yeah. Ana Lucia says, Karan seems like someone that looks at data or the lack of it and sees it for what it is. Yeah, and then has questions. Why? Let's get to the bottom of why. What's going on here? And again, that's the way I like to run my company. We're not being hired to do surface level cheesy cheese. We're being hired to really figure things out for our clients. And so we need to go there. Malika says, thanks both Karen and Debbie. This is inspiring. Yeah, I certainly can't guarantee that anybody who sends in a portfolio for a review ends up hired. This is the first time that's happened, and I've been reviewing portfolios for years. It's not the first time that I felt like I wanted to work with someone, but it's certainly the first time where I felt like I wanted to work with someone, and seemingly weeks later, a project that looked very much like the one they just did landed on me. Where again, we had a startup who was kind of like, we're not sure what problem we're solving. And I'm like, I know someone who will help me get to the bottom of that. Here we go. Karen's brother. I can't be any prouder. Keep it up, bro. Yes, I'm proud too. So yeah, that would technically be the end of the show. So while you guys put in any last questions you have, let me tell you what's coming next week. Sorry, I just got a weird calendar invitation because I'm speaking at Business of Design on Friday, and they've sent me a weird calendar invitation. I'll deal with that later. Next week's show. Ooh, Monday is the big one. Pew, pew, pew. We're going to be doing Don't Democratize UX Research, my new conference presentation. It takes some of the material from Chapter 12 in my new book, Customers Know You Suck, and it expands on it with a couple of new slides that some of you haven't seen before. So if you are having trouble with the whole democratization thing at your company, you will want to see that. It will be archived in the conference sessions playlist. Tuesday will be live streamed office hours, no guest. Wednesday will be our what I'm calling community hangout and group therapy hour. Wednesday the 26th. Angie, I'm looking at you. Karen, I'm looking at you. This will be in Remo, so make sure you check our calendar, deltacx.com/links for how to get there, or join our Slack or Discord, also linked here, and check the live events channels there for the link to join the free community hangout group therapy session. That's Wednesday. And then Thursday and Friday, I'm not going to be broadcasting. Thursday's a family dinner, and Friday I agreed to help host the day at Business of Design, the Tech Circus Conference. You can see it at techcircus.io. If you're on their mailing list, I think they sent out another coupon today. Yes, see you Wednesday. And then the week after next, I start traveling, and I'm going to be gone for a month. So you're going to be watching me from hotel rooms and friends' houses and some pretty cheesy spots. And I've had to cancel a lot of the shows, but we'll still try to do a few from the road. I have questions, book club style. You don't have to save them for Wednesdays. You have direct access to me, Karen. We know each other now. Just send questions. Okay, everybody, it's Friday. Thanks for joining. I hope everybody has a really super weekend. Hopefully something relaxing planned. Maybe some of you will be inspired to do a little work on your portfolios. Remember, you can always send it in for a free portfolio review, but please, please fix it first. You only get one free one. Use it well. All right, I'm going to play us out of here, but thank you again. Thanks to Karen for being a good sport, as we say, and letting us dive into his portfolio and talk about him like he's not here, but he is here. All right, see everybody soon. Have a good weekend. Bye. Customer centricity as business intelligence. Visit deltacx.com to learn why we are